Hello student, in this video we will see the question answer of the chapter number 12. In main we see the exercise. The first question of the exercise that what does an electric circuit mean? A continuous and a closed pathway along which an electric current flow, then it is called an electric circuit. In this question you also can draw the diagram of the electric circuit. The next question that is of define the unit of current. As we know that the unit of the current it is ampere. If a 1 coulomb of charge flow through any section of a conductor in a 1 second, then the current through it is said to be a 1 ampere. As we know the formula of the current, that is I is equal to Q by T. So instead of write down the I, we can write down the 1 ampere. So the 1 coulomb and divided by 1 second. If we are using in a defined terminology, then we can say that if the 1 coulomb of the charge flow through any section of the conductor in a 1 second, then the current through it said to be a 1 ampere. I is equal to Q by T, or you can also write down then the 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second. Let's see the question number 3. Calculate the number of electrons constituting a 1 coulomb of charge. As we know that the 1 electron possesses a 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So, the total charge that is of Q is equal to 1 coulomb. The number of electron means the N is equal to Q by E. Here as we know that the Q is equal to 1 coulomb and the charge of the electron that is of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So, the N means the number of the electron that is 6.25 into 10 raised to 18. Let's move further. The page number 202. The question number 1 that the name a device that helps to maintain a potential difference across a conductor. As we know that we are using a battery to maintain the potential difference in the across the conductor in the circuit. Next question. What is the mean by saying that the potential difference between 2 points is IV? The potential difference between 2 points is said to be a 1 volt if the 1 joule work is done to move a 1 coulomb of electric charge from the one point to another point. Then we consider it as a potential difference between 2 points is a IV. Let's move further. The next question. The how much energy is given to each coulomb of the charge passing through a 6 volt battery. Here we know that the coulomb charge that is of 1 and the potential difference that is of 6 volt, and we have to find out the energy. As we have the formula of the energy, that is energy given by the battery is equal to charge into the potential difference. So the W is equal to Q into V. The coulomb that is of 1 coulomb charge and the volt potential difference that is of 6 volt. So the answer is 6 joule. Next question. On what factor does the resistance of a conductor depend? Or the least out the factor on which the resistance of a conductor in the shape of the wire depends? It is already asked in CBSE 2018. Let's see the answer. As we discussed in the previous videos that the resistance of the conductor is mainly depend on the length, its area across the section and on the nature of its material. And also it is depend on the temperature. It is not mentioned but it is also depend on the temperature. Let's move further. Will the current flow more easily through a thick wire or a thin wire of the same material when it is connected to the same sources? Whatever is your answer, then why it is happened that you have to describe. As we know that the current will flow more easily through a thick wire than the thin wire of the same material, because as we know that the R is inversely proportional to the area of the conductor. So the larger the area of the cross section of the conductor, the more is the ease with each the electron can move through the conductor. Therefore, the smaller is the resistance of the conductor. The next question. Let the resistance of an electrical component remain the constant while the potential difference across the two ends of the component decrease to half of its former value. What change will occur in the current through it? As we know that when the potential difference is half, then the current through the component is also decreased, and it is also decreased to the half. As we know as per the Ohm's law that the V is directly proportional to the I. So on that basis we can say that the potential difference it is half, then the current of the component it is also decreased to half. Next question. Why are the coils of the electric toasters and the electric irons are made up of an alloy rather than a pure metal? It is also asked in another way, like why are the alloys commonly used in an electric heating device? Give your reason. It's also asked in a CBSE 2008 paper. So let's see the answer. The coil of electric toaster, electric iron and other heating device are made of an alloy rather than a pure metal, because the resistivity of an alloy is much higher than that of pure metal. And the second reason for that is an alloy does not go under any kind of oxidation, or you can say it is not burned easily if we are providing it at providing a high temperature even, or you can say when it is become a red hot even though it is not melt. So these are the advantages to use of alloy in the electric heating device. Now let's move further. Use the data in the table 12.2 to answer the following question. Which among the iron and the mercury is a better conductor? And the second question, that is of which material is the best conductor? If we are seeing the table 12.2, which is located on the page number 207, then you can come to know that if we are talking about the resistivity of the iron, that is of 10 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm, while the resistivity of the mercury, that is of 94 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm. So by the comparing both the material, both the conductor, or you can say both the metal, you come to know that the iron is the better conductor because it has a lower resistivity. If the resistivity is lower, then the conductivity, or you can say the passing of the current, flow of the current is a more. So thus the iron is better conductor because it has a lower resistivity than the mercury. And the second question, that is of which material is the best conductor, as we discussed that metal which contains the lowest resistivity, which is the very good conductor, because if the lowest resistivity, then it is able to allow more current throughout them. So from the table you can conclude that the silver has the lowest resistivity, that is of 1.60 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter. Therefore the silver is the best conductor. Let's move further. The page number 213 question answer. The first question, that the draw a schematic diagram of a circuit which consisting of a battery of 3 cells, 2 volt each. First one resistor, that is of 5 ohm, second resistor contain 8 ohm, while the third resistor contain the 12 ohm. And a plug key, all the connected in the series. These all three resistors are connected into the series. So now let's see the diagram. As we know that these three of the resistors are connected into the series. The first one, that is of 5 ohm, second one that is of 8 ohm, and the third one that is of 12 ohm. These all are connected with the 2 volt 3 cell. So we have to denote a 2 volt 3 cell. Here you can see 2 volt 3 volt 3 cells which are connected. So this is the schematic diagram of the given circuit. Let's move further. One more thing in this diagram, that always the current flows direction, it is from the positive charge to negative charge, and you have to also mention the key. Now next move further. The question number 2. Redraw the circuit of the question number 1, putting an ammeter to measure the current through the resistor and a voltmeter to measure the potential difference across the 12 ohm resistor. What would be the reading in this ammeter and the voltmeter? Now we are using this same, but instead of using in this diagram only, we have to attach the ammeter as well as the voltmeter. As we know that the ammeter is always connected into the series, while the voltmeter is always connected into the parallel. Now let's see the required circuit diagram is shown on the right, that the total voltage, as we know that the 3 battery we are connected, each have a 2 volt. So the total voltage, it is a 3 into 2. So total voltage of the circuit, that is of 6 volt. Now let's see the total total resistor. As we know that 3 resistors are connected into the series. So the series resistance formula, that is of R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So the 5 plus 8 plus 12. So the total resistance we get of this circuit, that is of 25 ohm. As we know that the ammeter, that is used for the measuring of the current, and the formula of the find it out the current, that is of I is equal to V by R. Here we have a V as well and the R as well. So we are putting the value that V is equal to 6 while the R is equal to 25. So the I means the current flow in this circuit, that is of 0.24 ampere. Now the next question is that what is the reading of the voltmeter. As we know that the voltmeter is always connected into the parallel, and we have also formula that V is equal to IR. Now in this condition we know the I from here. The I is equal to 0.24 while the R is equal to 12. So the voltmeter resistor is a 2.88 volt. Let's move further. Judge the equivalent resistance when the following are connected in the parallel. The first case, that is of 1 ohm and the 106 ohm. In second case, the 1 ohm and 103 ohm and the 106 ohm. As we know that when the resistance are connected in the parallel, the equivalent resistor is smaller than the smallest individual resistor. Here from each you can see the smallest resistance is a 1. So whatever the final resistor, or you can say the equivalent resistor, while it is in a parallel connection, then we get the smaller, or you can say the lesser than the smallest individual resistance. So we get the equivalent resistance is a less than 1 ohm. In the second case as well, equivalent resistance that we get, that is of less than 1 ohm. Let's move further. Question number 2. An electric lamp of 100 ohm or toaster of a resistance that is of 50 ohm and a water filter of a resistance that is of 500 ohm. These are connected in the parallel. Here we have to see that the connection, it is in a parallel connection, and to a 220 volt source. What is the resistance of the electric iron the connected to the same source that takes as much current as all three appliances, and what is the current through it? First of all, we write down the given things. As we know that the R1 that is of 100 ohm, R2 that is of 50 ohm, and the R3 that is of 500 ohm. Here the connection, it is in a parallel one. So we have a formula of the parallel resistance, that is of 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Here we have the put the value of the R1, R2, R3. That is the 1 upon 100, 1 upon 15, 1 upon 500. So we get the answer, that is of 16 by 500. So Rp means the equivalent resistor in the parallel connection, that is of 500 divided by 16. So we get the 31.25 ohm. Now we are getting the total equivalent resistance, means the R. So resistance of the equivalent iron is equal to the equivalent resistance of the three appliances which is connected in the parallel, that is we get, that is of 31.25. And also we have the voltage, that is of 220 volt, and the current, as we have the formula that the current is equal to I is equal to V by R. We have the value of the V as well as the R. V's value the 220 volt, while the R's value, that is of 31.25 ohm. Now let's move further. The question number 3. What are the advantages of connecting an electric device in parallel with a battery instead of connecting them in a series? As we study in the difference of the parallel and the series connection, as we know that there are lots of advantages to using a parallel connection. Let's see. The first one, that is in the parallel circuit, if an electric appliance stop working due to some defect, then the other appliance keep working normally. While in series connection, it is not happen. The second advantage is, that is of in the parallel connection, parallel circuit, the each electrical appliance has its own switch, and due to that we can easily do the turn on and the turn off individual without affecting the other appliances. The third advantage is, that is of in the parallel circuit, each electrical appliance get the same voltage as that of the power supply line. And the fourth important advantages of the parallel connection, that is of in the parallel connection of the electric appliance, the overall resistor of the household circuit it's a reduced because it is a we get the reciprocal. So it is a very reduced due to the which the current from the power supply is high. Now next move further. The question number 4. How can the three resistor of the resistance 2 ohm, 3 ohm and the 6 ohm be connected to give a total resistance? First that is of 4 ohm and the second that is of 1 ohm. Means in this resistance how can we arrange? While in series or parallel, how can we get the 4 and the 1? The first one that is we get the total resistance 4 ohm by connecting these three resistance in the series with the parallel combination of the 3 and the 6 ohm. Let's see. The R is equal to R1 plus R2, R3 divided by R2 plus R2. R3 is equal to R1 that is of 2 and these both are in a parallel connection, that R2 and the R3. So 3 into 6 divided by 3 plus 6. So 2 plus 18 divided by 9. So 9 twos are 18. So 2 plus 2 we get the 4 ohm. The second question that is of how can we get the 1 ohm. So we can obtain the total resistance 1 ohm by the connecting these three of the resistance in the parallel. If we are connect these three resistance in parallel, then we get the final equivalent resistor that is of 1 ohm. Here you can see that the 1 upon R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6 is equal to 1 by 1. So you get the 1 ohm. Here the R3 is not mentioned, but you have to mention 1 plus R3. So we get the 1 by 1 is equal to 1. So the R is equal to 1 ohm. Now let's move further. The question number 5. What is first one, the highest, the lowest total resistance that can be secured by the combination of 4 coils of resistance 4 ohm, 8 ohm, 12 ohm and the 24 ohm. As we know that the highest resistance can be obtained when we are connecting these all the resistance in a series combination. So let's see, the R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4 means the 4 plus 8 plus 12 plus 24. So that is a 48 ohm. And we get the lowest resistance while it is a connect in the parallel connection. So lowest resistance can be obtained by the connecting the 4 coil in the parallel. The 1 by R is equal to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 12 plus 1 by 24 is equal to 12 by 24. So we get the 1 by 2 means the 2 ohm. Now next move further. Why does the cord of an electric heater glow while the heating element does? Why does the cord of an electric heater not glow while the heating element does? As we know that the heat generated in the circuit given by the I square RT means the H is equal to I square RT. The heating element of the electric heater made of a nichrome which glows because it become a red hot due to the large amount of the heat produced sorry, on the passing current because of its high resistance. But the core of the electric heater which is made up by the copper which does not glow because it produces the negligible heat is produced in it, so by passing the current because it is extremely low resistance. So by using the nichrome and the copper example, you can explain that the core of the electric heater not glow while the heating element does. Let's see the next question. The compute the heat generated while transferring 96000 coulomb of a charge in a 1 hour through a potential difference 50 volt. Here the two things are given, that is one that is of coulomb, means the charge that is of 9600, and the time is given, that is for a hour, 1 hour, that is T is equal to 1 hour, and the V is given, that is of 50 volt. But first of all we have to convert this hour into the second. So the 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes is equal to 1 minute containing 60 seconds. So the 1 into 60 into 60, so we get the 3600 second. And V that is of already given, that is of 50 volt. As we have the formula H is equal to VQ. Here we have a V that is of 50 volt and the Q that is of 9600 C. So we get the 4800000 joule. So we can also write down that the 4.8 into 10 raised to 6 joule. Now next move further. The question number 3. An electric iron of a resistance that is of 20 ohm, take a current of a 5 ampere, calculate the heat developed in a 30 second. As we have that the R given, that is 20 ohm, I that is of 5 ampere, and the T that is of 3 second. As we have the formula that the heat generated means the heat energy is equal to H is equal to I square RT, I that is of 25 by 5 into 5, so the 25, R that is of 20, and the T is equal to 30. So we get the 1.5 into 10 raised to 4 joule. So this many energy is generated. Now next question. What determine the rate at which the energy is delivered by the current? The resistance of the circuit, which is determine the rate at which the energy is delivered by the current. If the resistance is more than the current is less. If the resistance is less than the current is more. That's why. Now the next question. An electric motor takes a 5 ampere from a 220 volt line. Determine the power of the motor and the energy consumed in 2 hours. Here the current is given, that is I, that is of 5 ampere. V that is given 220 volt. The T time that is of 2 hours. So we have to first convert it into the second. As we know that the 1 hour contains 3600. If we are multiply it by the 2, then we get the 7200 second. As we have the formula of the power, P is equal to IV. Here the I is given, that is of 5, and the V is given, that is of 220. So the power generated, that is of 1100 watt. And the energy that is of consumed, that is of P into T, means the E is equal to P into T. P that we already find, that is of 1100 watt, and the time, it is a long for the 2 hours. So 7200. So the energy which is consumed, that is a 7.2 into 10 raised to 5 joule. Thank you.